What's up? It's the Coaster Craze. So before going any further, I highly recommend you guys watch part one of this video, which I'll link in the iCard up above before continuing so you can see what numbers 10 through 6 were. I'll also put in the description down below my honorable mentions. So there's about 5 in the coasters from those years that didn't make the list. The reason this is so impromptu, if you watched my last part one, was because I did not plan on this being a two-part video, but got very long. So yeah, enjoy this video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let's go right on to the list with number 5.
And number 5, we're going super recent with 2019. And when I was talking about how the 2010s and 2020s are really just showing all these different manufacturers coming into the scene and just a massive coaster wars in terms of just competing for the best coasters, even though not exactly world records. Well, 2019 is a great example of that because this is really where you're starting to see Vekoma shine. You got Celestial Gauntlet and Flying Dragon both in China, which are Vekoma Hyperspace Warp models. Really solid looking coasters that combine inversions and airtime. You got Mach Ride's Copperhead Strike in America, the multi-launch coaster. The Mach Big Dipper Dynamite in Germany. Falcon, which is an insane looking B&M wing coaster, probably the best B&M wing coaster in the world. It is pretty much a hyper coaster. It's in China. Check this thing out. It's insane. Flight of the Himalayan Eagle Music Coaster. Really weird name, but it's a B&M Hyper in China. It's a mini hyper. It looks very fun. You got Fury and Mystic, which are two Gerstlauer Infinity coasters in Europe that are short rides, but look like they really pack a punch. You got Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. I'm not going to pronounce the rest of that name. This is the current record holder for most expensive coaster at like $300 million price tag, tripling Expedition Everest. Props the most themed coaster in the world. This thing is amazing. I can't wait to ride it sometime. Got some amazing trio of international, when I speak international, I mean outside of the US, RMC coasters, 3 of their best coasters with Hakuje in Nagashima Spyland, Japan, Untamed at Walibi, Holland in Netherlands, and Zadra at Energylandia in Poland. These are 3 of the best coasters in the world, period. It's insane. They all came out in the same year. Got Max Force, which is an insane looking S&S, super quick but super powerful air launch coaster at Six Flags Great America. Got Steel Curtain, which is a super unique and super fun. I really love this coaster. Massive S&S multi-looper hyper coaster at Kennywood. Taiga, which is a strong-looking Intamin Blitz coaster in Finland. TMNT Xcelerator, the current record holder for steepest coaster drop in the world at American Dream Meadowlands Nickelodeon Universe Park in New Jersey. Yukon Striker, which is perhaps the best dive coaster in the world. It has all the dive coaster records at Canada's Wonderland. And Dueling Dragons in China, which is just a ridiculous inverted slash sit down launch coaster dueling shuttle. It is just ridiculous and such a unique coaster. So yeah, 2019, such a diverse array of manufacturers, such a diverse list of countries. It is just so awesome how the coaster industry has progressed over this past 20 years even. At number 4, I have 2000. So this will be the last old year you see on this list. All the other ones are pretty new. And this is right at the center of the coaster wars of the turn of the millennium. And boy, just every major chain was buying so many coasters for their parks, and you can see it pay off. So you got some strong wind coasters, or at least massive wind coasters, with the Boss at Six Flags St. Louis and Boulder Dash at Lake Compounce. You got some really effective B&Ms like Dominator at Giago Lake, which is now at King's Dominion, Katoon at Mirabilandia, which is an invert, Kraken, my personal favorite, B&M Floorless, at SeaWorld Orlando. You got Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which I'm not a fan of, but it's important to the coaster story of 2000, and that was the year that 3 different coasters were competing for the record of tallest complete circuit coaster. First it was Goliath, then there was Millennium Force at Cedar Point, the original Giga coaster, and then Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spyland, which held it for years until Fury 325 in 2015, and it's just insane that there's so much competition in one year. Plus, you got some other great wind coasters like Legend at Holiday World, Lightning Racer at Hershey Park. You got Medusa, the B&M Floorless at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, Speed of the Ride, a crazy-looking Premier Rides launched shuttle coaster in Las Vegas, Stealth at California's Great America, which was the original full-size flying coaster. This was by Vekoma and is just such a landmark, important coaster. You got Superman Krypton coaster, which many considered the best B&M Floorless in the world at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Superman Ride of Steel, which is amazing coaster in my opinion, super underrated. It's the same thing as Ride of Steel at Six Flags Darien Lake, and Superman the Ride, which is Intamin's just masterclass of a hypercoaster. It is the best hypercoaster out there, in my opinion. I absolutely love it, and it's just insane that all those came out the same year. So many hypercoasters, so many gigacoasters, so much competition, so many different models. It is an insane year, and it's crazy that 21 years later, it is still the fourth best year for coasters, in my opinion. At number 3, I have a somewhat surprising pick, and this is 2021. So this year, of course, there's some things in flux because of the pandemic. We don't know about some coasters being delayed till 2022, especially the SeaWorld coasters. But even if those coasters did not open this year, I think 2021 still deserves a top 3 place. Just listen to this. This is insane. You got Abyssus, which looks like the best Vekoma coaster so far at Energylandia. Bombay Express, a GCI wind coaster in Dubai. Dragonfire, a ridiculous looking Premier Rides launch shuttle coaster in Qatar. Emperor, a B&M dive coaster at SeaWorld San Diego. Fighter Jet, which is the first ever Vekoma Top Gun launch coaster model to open. This will be in China, and it looks like a really wonderful model that we've seen for some years, and it's so exciting that it's finally being built. Hurricane Roller Coaster, which is the biggest mock rides coaster ever, a massive hyper launch coaster coming to China. You got Icebreaker, which is a really cool looking Premier Rides high thrill family style launch coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. Iron Gwazi, which is going to probably be a top 5 coaster in the world, massive RMC hybrid at Busch Gardens Tampa. Jersey Devil coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure, which I can't wait to ride this year. It is now the full-size, larger model of the RMC Raptor, as well as Stunt Pilot, which is now the updated version of the prototype Raptor. And it's just great to see that model get more and more prolific. Condo, which has been getting rave reviews as a mini Intamin hypercoaster at Walibi, Belgium. Legendary Twin Dragon, which is an Intamin impulse coaster, and now holds the record for tallest and fastest inverted coaster in the world. You got Leviathan Wind Coaster Gravity Group made coming to SeaWorld in Australia. Mission Ferrari, which hopefully opens this year. Ridiculous looking SFX coaster with like multi-dimensions, super high tech, opening up at Ferrari World. You got Monster, a B&M invert coming to Groenland in Sweden. Pantheon coming to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which is an Intamin blitz coaster with some really phenomenal elements, borrowing a little bit from RMC. Steel Taipan, which is an updated version of the Blue Fire mock launch coaster, now with a triple pass launch at the beginning. The Ride to Happiness, which is the second installation of the Mach Extreme spinning launch coaster, and this one looks amazing, one of the best coasters in the world, in my opinion. And then, of course, Velocicoaster, which recently opened up at Universal's Islands of Adventure, one of the best theme coasters in the world, one of the best coasters in the world, period. There are so many top 20 coasters in the world opening in 2021. It is amazing. It's such a strong come out from the pandemic. At number 2, we're keeping it recent with 2018. And this is another year where a diverse array of manufacturers are really bringing their best to the stage. So first we got Phoenix, a really solid B&M wind coaster at Toverland. Hang Time, a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. Heaven's Wing, B&M wind coaster in China. Hyperion, one of the strongest Intamin hypercoasters, is at Energylandia in Poland. Really just wowed right away by that one. Icon, Mach multi-launch at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Got one of the Jungle Trailblazer wind coasters in China. Railblazer and Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster, which are the 2 original RMC Raptor single rail prototypes that are super influential to the industry already. Steel Dolphin, a really awesome looking Intamin multi-launch coaster in China. Steel Vengeance, the RMC conversion of Mean Streak at Cedar Point, which many consider to be the best coaster in the world. Then you also got Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City, the original Mach Extreme spinning coaster. And this is one heck of a ride from what I've heard. And again, such an influential model that I think it has a great future. Twisted Cyclone and Twisted Timbers, 2 awesome RMC hybrid coasters in America. Valkyria at Liseberg, B&M dive coaster. Wicker Man, the insanely well-themed GCI wind coaster at Alton Towers. Wind coaster in China. And overall, you got a pretty damn strong year. I mean, RMC really brought their finest this year. You see just a lot of big parks getting some massive coasters. and some wind coasters too, which is rare for 2018. That's pretty recent. So overall, I would call that a great mix. You got a lot of strong launch coasters, a lot of airtime-based coasters, inversion-based coasters, just a great variety and a high quantity too. That's a lot of coasters I just mentioned. And now we've arrived at the best year for roller coasters ever. This is a year where just reading the list of coasters that came out is just ridiculous. It's hard to believe, and when it happened, I can't believe I didn't realize just how special of a year that was. We have some great years coming up, but I don't know when we're going to have another year as good as this year. This is 2016, and boy, just listen to this list. So you got Battle of Jungle King, the Golden Horse dueling tilt coaster in China that looks like a pretty cool coaster, or at least a pretty sick gimmick. Coaster Through the Clouds, one of the best intimate hypers in the world. This is in China as well, and wow, just watching POVs of this is a coaster I feel like I need to get to ride. Got Intimate Hyper Coaster Flying Aces at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi. Flying Dinosaur, considered the best flying coaster in the world at Universal Studios Japan. Joker at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, which is an RMC hybrid coaster. 2 Jungle Trailblazers in China, one of which has an inversion. Lightning Rod at Dollywood, which many consider to be the best wind coaster in the world, and some consider to be the best coaster in the world, period. It's the only launched wind coaster, even though now it's barely wind coaster. And sure, it's caused a lot of problems, but it is such an influential and massive ride. It is insane that it came out the same year as Wildfire, which is another insane RMC wind coaster. These might be the final 2 RMC wind coasters, and boy, did they go out with a bang. You got Lost Gravity, which is the first ever mock Big Dipper coaster, and looks like just a really strong mix of inversions, laterals, and twists, and airtime. You got Monster, which is the first Gerstlauer Infinity coaster in America, and looks really solid. Mecha, one of the strongest B&M hyper coasters. Python and Bamboo Forest, which is one of the best wind coasters in the world, probably top 2 GCI. It is so long, such great terrain usage. Another coaster in China, Soaring with Dragon, which is an insane looking intimate launch coaster with some backwards and forward sections. Storm Chaser, one of the best regarded RMCs despite its small size at Kentucky Kingdom. Terran, a ridiculously themed and such a great layout and fast intimate blitz coaster at Phantasialand. Tron at Disneyland Shanghai, which is an amazingly themed, super cool Vekoma motorbike coaster that I'm so excited when it comes to Magic Kingdom. Valravn, which was previously a record holder for a lot of dive coaster records at Cedar Point. Formula at Energylandia, which was really the intro to modern Vekoma, just shocking the coaster world by all of a sudden becoming amazing. And finally, Flash at Liwa Adventure in China, which was the first ever Mach hypercoaster, and just showed everyone that, wow, Mach is in it for like the long haul. They're making some massive coasters now. And I think that's the theme of 2016. It was a bunch of manufacturers really stepping up their game. They were competing with the big guys like RMC, Intamin, and B&M, who all 3 had very strong years in 2016 as well. Just everybody was at the top of their game. The parks were buying a lot of coasters. The manufacturers were making some of their best coasters all around the world, all different types of models. And I hope we have another year like that again. The coaster industry, despite the pandemic, is still going so strong. We have some great years lined up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Put down in the comments what you think are the best coaster years. I'd love to see them. As well as like and subscribe to the Coaster Craze for a lot more content coming soon, as well as a ton of previous content, including my previous coaster rankings. So thank you guys for watching. This is the Coaster Craze signing off. I'll see you guys later. Bye.